Welcome to Washington University's recognition ceremony for its December graduates. I am John Drobak, the Grand Marshal of this ceremony. We will begin with the singing of America the Beautiful by the Washington University Chamber Choir, directed by Dr. Nicole Aldrich. Please remain standing. Will you please be seated? I now present the Chancellor of Washington University, Dr. Mark S. Wrighton.
Thank you, Professor Drobak. Good afternoon. Welcome to Washington University's 2016 December Recognition Ceremony. For all of the graduates, I'm sure this represents in your minds a culmination of your educational experience leading to your degree. It's not quite the culmination. At least for many, there are a few classes, and for many more, perhaps, some final exams. But we have confidence in you, so we're recognizing you for completing your degree requirements on this day. So please accept my congratulations. This semester has also been significant for our community. First, we have been very successful in recruiting another cohort of your successors. New students have arrived this semester, and like you, they represent people with enormous potential and people who have already, in the short time that they've been here, made important contributions, just as you have. Second, We hosted the second of 3 presidential debates on our campus this semester. This was a rewarding experience for our community here on campus, as well as for St. Louis. This was an important service to our country. So we've had some very interesting high-profile experiences, but for you, your parents, your other family members, and your friends, this is a special day. While this is not your actual commencement, that's going to take place in May, and I hope that all of you will make an effort to be with us in May. But I know that some of you will not be able to return, so we like to take this opportunity to recognize your impressive accomplishments as new degree recipients. I would like to extend special thanks to your families and to your friends who are here for the support that they provided as you've proceeded through Washington University's rigorous academic program. Without the love, guidance, and support from families and friends, these aspirations are more difficult to realize. But I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to recognize all of our new graduates and to celebrate with you as you conclude your degree programs here at Washington University. Our program today will include a very distinguished keynote speaker. Each graduate will then be individually recognized, and I have a small, but very small memento to give to you. And then I'll have a short message myself, and then we'll wrap up, and then we'll have a reception in the Danforth University Center. So it is now my time and pleasure to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Mary Stillman, one of St. Louis's most important community champions and a prominent leader in the field of education. Mary Stillman is the founder and executive director of the Hawthorne Leadership School for Girls, an all-girls charter public school in the city of St. Louis that opened just a little over a year ago. Hawthorne is the only single-sex public school in Missouri and has a particular focus on the STEM fields. It currently enrolls 165 girls in grades 6, 7, and 8, and the school will expand to grades 6 through 12 and graduate its first senior in 2021. Washington University is honored to serve as Hawthorne's institutional sponsor. In that role, we work with the school to help it meet its academic and financial goals and ensure compliance with state and federal regulations. Washington University also provides curriculum and instructional support to the Hawthorne School through our Institute for School Partnership, our Each One Teach One tutoring project, and InvestiGirls programs. Hawthorne is an affiliate of the Young Women's Leadership Network, a group of high-performing all-girls public schools founded by Washington University alumna and Board of Trustees member Ann Tisch. A native of St. Louis, Mary herself attended the Holton Arms School in Bethesda, Maryland, and her positive experience at the all-girls secondary school inspired her to provide a similar opportunity for girls who might not otherwise have access to such an education. She went on to earn a bachelor's degree from Princeton University and then a law degree from Yale. After practicing law for several years in Washington, D.C., she and her family moved back to Missouri in 1993. Soon after, Mary began working here at Washington University, first as an assistant dean focusing on first-year programming and later teaching a first-year seminar on the Bill of Rights. Mary currently serves on the boards of trustees of Washington University, the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center, Girls Incorporated, and December, a literary journal. In addition to her role on our Board of Trustees, she is also a member of our National Advisory Council for the Gephardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement, and she serves on the National Advisory Board of the John C. Danforth Center on Religion and Politics. As you move forward in your own careers And as you envision your futures, I'm delighted that you have the opportunity to hear from one of St. Louis's most inspiring, caring, and innovative leaders. Those of us who've watched the early success of the Hawthorne School have seen clearly that Mary Stillman brings a passion for helping young girls to be everything she can be. You would do well to heed her message today and learn from an outstanding individual who's committed her life to being of service to others by providing academic opportunity to those who will use it to transform their own lives and the world. It's my pleasure to introduce Mary Stillman.
Well, thank you very much, Chancellor Wrighton, and I'm so pleased to be here to celebrate with all of you on this excellent day. And I'm really honored to be able to share my reflections with you. Congratulations, graduates, and to your families and friends who have supported you all along the way. You are the particularly lucky ones because you get to graduate again in just a few months. It's sort of like having a party on your birthday and then another party on your half birthday. But here we are. At the graduation ceremony in spring, I'm almost certain that the commencement speaker will be touting your successes and sharing in your excitement about the extraordinary things you will do with your lives post-graduation. And I know that you will. But since I have a hunch that you'll hear that then, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk to you today about the ordinary. I want to talk about the everyday, to urge you not to get too caught up in the excitement of the extraordinary, but instead to put at least a little of your positive energy into the run-of-the-mill stuff of life. I do not mean that you should aspire to be humdrum or dull or boring or small-minded. I do not mean that you shouldn't aim high and hold yourself to standards of excellence in whatever field you pursue. I mean that the ordinary small things, the way you conduct yourself and the way you build your community by connecting with others, engaging with people and ideas on a basic level, and celebrating joy in the everyday, commonplace occurrences. These are things that matter. It's not always the big splash that we should focus on. When I was in college in the 1980s, women were getting traction in higher education, in the workplace, and, as they say, in the boardroom. My good friend Ann Heller's mother, Nancy, who had been a stay-at-home mom, went back to school while we were in college to earn her master's in social work. She earned her degree and her licensure, and she became a private practitioner during the 4 years we were undergrads. This made quite an impression on me. Remember, it was the early 80s, and it was not typical then to see women begin careers in their late 40s. Mrs. Heller's decision and commitment to her work was very inspiring to me. 10 years after we graduated from college, Ann's mother died of cancer at age 61. At her funeral, I was struck by the stories I heard about this extraordinary woman. The stories were quite ordinary. Nancy's friends and family talked about her loyalty, her humor, her courage, her kindness, her energy, her intelligence. Not a single person mentioned her career. It was the everyday, the way she conducted herself in the basics of life, that mattered to the people who were missing her. Somehow that struck me just at the right time, as a reminder that my degrees and my career choices should not be what define me. Of course, I've had these kinds of thoughts before, and I've had them since. When I was in law school, professors and administrators would speak to us students about the opportunities available to us, the ways we could change the world by running Fortune 500 companies, or pushing legal theory, or holding elected office. What if, I would wonder, I just want to practice law? Isn't that enough? Do I need to go for the big splash? And the answer is, of course, it is enough. Practicing law is an excellent thing to do. Maybe it is enough at some points in your life or at all points of your life. Maybe sometimes it is too much. Maybe sometimes it is not enough. Your careers will ebb and flow. Mine certainly has. And through the ebbs and flows, I hope it is not all that has defined me. In fact, when my day comes, I have told my husband and children that what I want on my tombstone is, "She always made us a good breakfast." That is my way of celebrating the ordinary. Now, I confess that over the past few years, I've fallen off a bit in making a good breakfast. I became involved 5 years ago in the founding of the new charter public school in St. Louis, Hawthorne Leadership School for Girls that Chancellor Wrighton has described to you. We're an all-girls college prep school in the city with a particular focus on STEM. We opened last year with 6th and 7th grades, and this year we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. We're part of the Young Women's Leadership Network, founded by Ann Rubenstein Tisch, a Washington University grad, because, of course, Washington University students do go on to do excellent and important things with their lives. And we're very grateful to be a part of that network and to be sponsored by Washington University. Founding Hawthorne has been an incredible journey, and I'm very proud of the school. Our talented and committed board and staff and the progress our students have made already academically and in developing their leadership voices. In fact, in just the past 2 weeks, we've had our 4.0 GPA pinning ceremony, taken first place in our division in a chess tournament, put the finishing touches on our dance concert, coming soon, December 18th. And just yesterday, I had a very compelling presentation from 2 of our 7th graders advocating that Hawthorne should start a cheerleading team, complete with ideas for uniforms. And the final request, and here I'm quoting from the students' PowerPoint presentation, "I also was thinking that we can get pom-poms only if we can, but if we can't, that will be okay." Hawthorne is a college prep school, but along with its strong academics, an underlying positive school culture is so important. We have ways, traditions, rhythms, sounds that are unique to our school. How important it is for our students and families, faculty and staff to feel a real sense of belonging, to feel proud to be a member of a special institution. It has been truly gratifying to be a part of building that sense of community from scratch. And so much of establishing our school culture has been in the ordinary things that happen every day. Hanging out on the steps in front of school before the day begins, our morning meeting, our daily advisory, our minute-to-win-it challenges every Friday, our classroom routines, our dance-offs. We do this in the everyday. The predictability and comfort in routine, in the same faces and voices and inside jokes goes a long way toward building a culture. The ordinary matters so much. Perhaps some of you are fans of Krista Tippett, the host of the radio show and podcast On Being. One of Tippett's recent guests was the Irish poet Michael Longley, who Tippett describes as, quote, "dwelling on beauty and normalcy that reassert the liveliness of ordinary things, precisely in the face of what is hardest and most broken in society." This summary evokes my hope for building a school culture at Hawthorne that provides stability, predictability, meaning, and joy for all students in the face of everything else that is going on around them. In his conversation with Tippett, Michael Longley brings another point of view to the celebration of the ordinary when he describes part of the essence of poetry. Longley says, "One of the marvelous things about poetry is that it is useless. It is useless. What is poetry?" people occasionally ask in the butcher shop, say. They come up to me and they say, "What use is poetry?" And the answer is, no use. But it doesn't mean to say that it is without value. It is without use, but it is valuable. I love this, that we can and do derive meaning from many things that really have no clear purpose. So what does any of this have to do with you graduates? I'm not exactly sure. Perhaps it has no use. But as you reflect on your time at Washington University, surely you realize how valuable your experience here has been in helping you reach your academic goals. And I invite you to remember so many of the experiences here that had no use, but have nevertheless been so valuable. Remember the everyday, ordinary occurrences that gave texture to your years here. Your time at Washington University has not been aimed only to get you to today and beyond. Your experience as a member of the community has shaped you as human beings on a basic level through the daily interactions and the wonderful people around you. John Dewey, the American education reformer at the turn of the 20th century, wrote in his 1897 Pedagogic Creed, "I believe that the school is primarily a social institution. Education being a social process, the school is simply that form of community life in which all those agencies are concentrated that will be most effective in bringing the student to his own powers for social ends. I believe that education is a process of living and not a preparation for future living." Your experience at Washington University has indeed been a process of living. You've formed lifelong friendships based on shared experiences. You've spent so many hours walking to class, eating together, laughing, listening to music, wasting time. You've had built-in community in your dorm or your apartment, your study group, an a cappella group, fraternity, soccer team, working together on 13 Carnival or at Edison Theater. You've participated in voting drives, Relay for Life, dance marathon, the presidential debate advance team. And together you have mourned the fact that there are no longer tater tots available at every meal. The students here and the adults who work with them love this place and care about its culture and are proud to identify as members of the unique WashU community. Not just because of its academic excellence, but because of the kind of people this place attracts and nurtures. You've developed as individuals within the broader context of the university, and your relationships with the people here you've come to know through daily interactions. In a section of his very long poem, Song of Myself, Walt Whitman glorifies the details of the commonplace and characterizes people from many walks of life in whom he sees parts of himself. The pure contralto sings in the organ loft. The carpenter dresses his plank. The tongue of his foreplane whistles its wild ascending lisp. The married and unmarried children ride home to their Thanksgiving dinner. The machinist rolls up his sleeves. The policeman travels his beat. The gatekeeper marks who pass. The clean-haired Yankee girl works with her sewing machine or in the factory mill. The paving man leans on his two-handed rammer. The reporter's lead flies swiftly over the notebook. The sign painter is lettering with blue and gold. The Missourian crosses the plains, toting his wares and his cattle. And these tend inward to me, and I tend outward to them. And such as it is to be of these more or less I am, and of these one and all, I weave the song of myself. Each of you has grown as an individual, in part because of the people here you have come to know. And some of these everyday, ordinary interactions, while perhaps not appreciated at the time, are what living here has been about. Now that you are leaving this special place, I invite you to realize and relish what you had here at Washington University. Reflect on it, and in some ways try to recreate it. You'll need to work harder to build a community and spend energy seeking out others now, as it won't be built in and fostered by the university. It will take more effort. But how rich a life you will make for yourself if you do come together, work together, play together. Remember to take time for the ordinary and put energy into the day-to-day stuff of life. I'll end here by circling back to the closing stanzas of Song of Myself, which capture the excitement of setting off on your future while staying grounded in the commonplace ever-present daily stuff of life, and the appreciation that you cannot go it alone. I tramp a perpetual journey. Come listen, all. Not I, not anyone else can travel that road for you. You must travel it for yourself. It is not far. It is within reach. Perhaps you have been on it since you were born and did not know. Perhaps it is everywhere, on water and on land. Shoulder your duds, dear son, and I will mine, and let us hasten forth. Wonderful cities and free nations we shall fetch as we go. If you tire, give me both burdens, and rest the chuff of your hand on my hip, and in due time you shall repay the same service to me. For after we start, we never lie by again. So off you go to do extraordinary things, to Whitman's wonderful cities and free nations. But along the way, stop to rest and reflect, lean on a friend, and make yourself available to be leaned on. Take time to enjoy and find value in the ordinary stuff of life. And for now, congratulations on your extraordinary accomplishments.
Chancellor Wrighton will now recognize each of the candidates. He will be assisted by William F. Tate, Dean of the Graduate School and Vice Provost for Graduate Education, representing all of the graduate deans, and by Jennifer R. Smith, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, representing all of the undergraduate deans.
The candidates for the associate's degree and the bachelor's degree will please stand and be recognized. All associate's and bachelor degree candidates. The marshals will conduct the candidates to the north side of the stage.
Regina Smith. Ya Shen Lee. Gautam Adusumili. Darren Lee. George Sanders. Christine Meyer. Neha Prasad. Puya Jaram. Beda Chowdhury. Catherine Jan. Gwandi Yao. Emma Robertson. Maida Gerloff-Vidovsky. Lauren Francis Hunter. Eva Megner. Taylor DiRoberto. Jean Shrimpaka. Amanda Blau. Jennifer Delmonico. Penny Steinberg. Lauren Kung. Shuni Lee. Sarah Trigg. Bracken Erdman. Michaela Rodriguez. Allison Palmer. Margarita Gomez. Nisram Morsi. Alex Carroll. Jennifer Linton. Lena Marcella Greason. Kelly Shayna Wint. Bekal Gezahen. Stephen Huber. Catherine Janowski. Carrie Wagoner. Jessica Prusik. Britt Kojemo. Younghwa Su. Megan Gregory. Kushal Raj. Logan Bush. Jiha Kim. Jen Yu. Jenny Yoon. Caitlin David. Sophia Keski. John O'Brien. Alexander Bluestein. Rachel Pulick. Abigail Rickman. Hannah Bloomer. Rachel Hartzell. Jacob Barabbas. Allison Hartenstein. Arpitha Hayes. Gabrielle Lee. Alex Heyman. Blake Ashley. Ryan Smith. Avi Rubin. Evan Figueroa. Emre Gunay. Nicole Isaacoff. Hillary Kroll. Elena Antonovich. Maria Tulsadas. Amanda Ross. Rebecca Rubin. Nadev Sprague. Casey Huang. Victoria Chen. Jennifer Liu. Saram Sundaram. Min Il Kim. Liz Zhang. Christina Johnston. Sarah Jeong. Chelsea Birchmeyer. Thank you. Tariro Nusanov. Benjamin Cass. William Chang. Abasula Jegada. Rachel Laduca. Chandre Nunn. Anish Kolan. Welcome. Anish Kuna Fasin.
Another round of applause for the bachelor's and associate's degree. The candidates will please be seated. The candidates for the master's degree will please stand to be recognized. The marshals will conduct the candidates to the north side of the stage.
June Young Cho. Michelle Straight. Elizabeth Myers. Yi In. Shun Sun. Yachi Chang, Andrew Dai, Eric Wong, Yi Shu, Lian Shi, Shiyu Chuyi Fan, Shiyi Shen, Melanie Schmitz, Yifan Wang, William DeButz, David Ingraham, Jean Tsi, Chi Chang, Hussein Hudaib, Jessica Merrick, Emily Wolf, Adrian Hargrove, Yang Wang, Yang Chen, Zhao Wen, Maeve Elder, Sarah Peters Bosari, Tong Chang, Christian Korta, James R. Winstead, Alexander Bernstein, Louis Mignana, Sophia Pellizzari, Yi Young, Hong Yi Chen, Tang Tang, Lauren Bedell, Avram Thrilla Karum Aram, Margaret Liu, Barbara Ruth Hickey, Courtney Gimber, Sarah Nace, Mungu Lee, Jenning Lee, Etong Ding, Tudan Ren, John Paul Vella, Claire Martin, Aaron Mitchner, Lisa Siddons, Jennifer Dickinson, Isabel Marie Bone, Jonathan Porter, David Frazier, Christina Zen, Rachel Chassie, Lajun Grayson, Amanda Bauke, Lou Wang, Brittany Scheid, Alexander Papp, Samuel Gardner, Matt Fisher, Nasim Daryai, Richard Linkoff, Sholin Miao, Ranzi Zhang, Menglan Shu, Richa Degakar, Hariham Papel PK, Tianchang Wang, Ann Charles, Clarissa Jackson, Catherine Hale, Kevin Carroll, Yoshiu Ma, Rasushi Chi, Feng Zhu. Shishoan Wang. Bo Tang. Christine Yang. Rachel Zeman. Abdul Rauf Sakuri. Andit Madari. Chenwei Chow. Krista Matthews. Ashley Gill. Erica Salinas. Jasmine Grieca. Gabriella Biza Stout. Aaron Lawrence. Gong Jing. Beiyin Ma. Jessica Aldrich. Mara Lesser. Abigail Buckhouse. Haley Johnston. Patrick Cruitt. Christina Groton. Haley Peerless. Christopher Orban. Kalista Hicksonbow. Mira Stofficker. Malika Rahman. Dina Elredi. Brittany Carr. Rebecca Ellen Schmitz. Ed Lahovich. Jill Conway. Samantha Dewald. Kara Cheevert. Tara Nielsen. Sarah Myers. Joel Black. Jami Medina. Cheryl Stoddard. John Mowney. Kayla Birch. Roman Kesselman. Seth Costell. Saritha Triru Angari. Rachel Drotar. Lindsay Shoemaker. Nestle Bravo. Kelly Hall. David Dupriest Grant. Jennifer Getz. Hao Lei. Qingyi Shi. Tongtong Yu. Cheyenne Martins. Anand Ramachandran. Kevin Shen. Blake Myers. Stephen Ratzliff. Andrea Sarmiento. Evan Coudray. April Nupir. Jasmine Parker. Cherise Moore. Shania Turner-Smith. Kiana Merritt. Lacey Thompson. Jeremy Vu. Joseph Jerome Wasink. Ryan Smith. Thanks. John Henroyd. Lucas Heberly. Dustin Sotnick. Michael Fresta. Luke Lonis. Brad Dickinson. Jinga Chen. Sin Fan. Shijie Cheng. Sining Liu. Yangas Yang. Joseph Bullard. Andrew Dotry. Liu Yang. Jen Cheng. Tarun In. Shohao Shu. Yu Hu. Pamela Sinamora. Feng Shang. Yu Wang. Joshua Poole. Portia O'Neill. Haoning Lei. Kate Falconer. Brittany Driscoll. Sarah Barbe. Laura Mastrangelo. Margarita Corrado. Sikman Gladys Pong. Phyllis Hollowell. Chuyu Ma. Tyler Day. Alicia Ladd. Chi Wei. Yating Kuang. Wei Wang. Wenbo Chin. Ethan Sun. Michael Chukamele Woyi. Wendell Fry. Maggie Wu. Chu Wang. Minjun Chan.
Let's applaud the master's degree candidates. The candidates will please be seated. The candidates for the doctoral degrees will please stand to be recognized. The marshals will conduct the candidates to the north side of the stage.
Jeremy Sato. Hyun Sak Kung. Andrew Loza. Monica McDonald. Jimmy Lenz. Ella Salim Almare. Ryan Ramya, thank you, Via Yakumar. Samuel Reed. Weichen Chen. Huliu Wang. Samuel Powell.
Let's recognize once again the doctoral candidates. Candidates will please be seated. I began by saying we've had a great semester. Mary Stillman's presentation reminds me to tell you something else that happened this semester that was really positive. Every one of our fall sports in intercollegiate athletics went to the NCAA playoffs. And when Mary said that the seventh graders at her school would like to form a cheerleading squad, we can use them. And this afternoon, for example, our women's soccer team is competing for the national championship. That will begin at 4:30. One of the funniest things that happened in the course of our hosting the second presidential debate occurred when one of the networks broadcasting live from the campus with a view of the field, seeing these wonderful buildings to the west, Siegel Hall, the Knight Center, Anheuser-Busch Hall. The network called over with this big open field and they said, "We'd like to see more students. Could you call your marching band and have them go across the field?" Well, we don't have a marching band. So here's another way that the Hawthorne School might be able to help us. Seriously, Mary, thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for the great message that you have provided for our graduates today. We're looking forward to the continuing progress of the Hawthorne Leadership School, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what our new graduates will do. I want to begin by thanking you for choosing Washington University. You had other choices, of course. I want to thank you for the hard work that you've expended in preparing yourselves to graduate. And I want to thank you in advance for the future efforts that you're going to undertake to benefit yourself, your family, your friends, and the world beyond. We at Washington University believe that we're preparing the future leaders for society. When we say things like this, we do sometimes think about the elective officers, we think about chief executive officers, but there are many ways to be a leader in everyday life. In fact, as you pursue your careers, you should look for leadership opportunities, but it doesn't necessarily mean leading a large organization. Strive to be the best you can be in every endeavor. In thinking about leadership, I'm, as a scientist, sometimes reminded of the greatest leaders in science are those that go on to make transforming discoveries that bring enormous benefit to people in the world. And sometimes they're recognized with the highest elements of recognition, including the Nobel Prize. W.E. Murner is a Washington University alumnus who 2 years ago received the Nobel Prize in chemistry. Here at Washington University, he majored in mathematics and physics, not in chemistry. The other major was electrical engineering. And this just shows that emerging as a leader may be a torturous and difficult, sometimes surprising path. We at Washington University are also working to advance human health. And while we do have a great School of Medicine, there are many ways that our students, our faculty, and our staff are working to advance human health. And as new graduates, many of you will be involved in advancing human health as well. This can occur in the world of social work, in the world of public health, in biomedical engineering, in psychology, and many other disciplines that I know are represented among our new graduates. Third, we're striving to nurture the development of new enterprises through entrepreneurship, and we're striving to encourage innovation. Everyone can be an innovator. Innovation and entrepreneurship may not be just forming independent new enterprises, whether they be commercial enterprises or social service organizations, but you can be entrepreneurial in your work. In an academic institution, you can be an innovator and an entrepreneur in developing new, exciting programs, and I hope that you have experienced some of those. But wherever your career takes you, you can be an innovator. You can affect the way we work, live, and play, and I know that you have the potential to be an important contributor in these very important areas. Finally, we're striving to enhance the quality of life. The impact of an institution like ours is amplified enormously by the work of our alumni. And as with W.E. Murner, as you realize success, we hope to take a little credit for that too. You're working already very hard. Enhancing the quality of life perhaps is seen most easily in the kind of poetry that was recited by Mary Stillman. Creative and performing arts are areas where one can easily appreciate enhancing the quality of life. But you can also enhance the quality of life by your own civic and community engagement, as we have through the Richard Gephardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement here in St. Louis. You can encourage giving back, and you can encourage the development of corporate social responsibility when you would join a major organization. So I know that as new graduates, you're going to help Washington University fulfill its 4 objectives in this era: preparing leaders for society, advancing human health, spawning innovation and entrepreneurship, and enhancing the quality of life. As I said, I thank you in advance for your efforts in these regards. You came to Washington University with enormous potential. A part of our responsibility through your education is to build that potential. And with that enhanced potential, you have a greater responsibility to make our world a better place. I'm confident you can do it. I appreciate very much your association with Washington University and will be following your great careers with keen interest. Thank you all for being a part of the Washington University community as its newest graduates. Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Let us all stand now for the singing of our alma mater. The words may be found in the back of your program. Henry Cummings, 2017 candidate in music and marketing, will lead us, and we invite everyone to join us in the singing of the Washington University alma mater.
Dear alma mater, thy name is sweet to me. Our hearts are all for thee, fair Washington. Thy halls shall honored be throughout this great country, for all eternity. Our Washington. Those days of youth which all of us spent with thee form a dear history, fair Washington. Could days with thee for all eternity, our Washington.
We ask the parents and guests to remain in their seats until all the degree candidates have left the chapel. And all the guests and candidates are invited to the Danforth University Center immediately following this ceremony, where the chancellor and the deans of the schools will greet their students.